apologize for you being able to hear like all my keyboard strokes and stuff, but I think the fact that I have regularly functioning audio is still going to be pretty cool. So I'm kind of excited for today because I think yesterday you guys showed me a little bit of what this YouTube channel could be. And I'm excited about that. By the way, those of you that may want to know, hey, Mike, what did you do last night? I looked up Renegade videos on TikTok. And okay, then. Just put it that way. Just saying. So in case y'all didn't know or whatever, there's like all these streaming services offering like massively long free deals and stuff like that. And I'm kind of pumped right now. I'm trying to get Carly to hop on here, and I'm not sure why she hasn't yet. I've checked in with Cheryl, her mom, and she said hopefully soon, so I'm not sure. Oh, like what? So Sirius satellite radio, which when I was a Lyft driver, I used to use all the time, where it's like ad-free radio for like with 300 channels or whatever, is offering like a free month and a half. What is it? Gosh, if you like Hulu right now is doing like a 30-day trial where usually it's 7. And so they're offering like all of this stuff. Like Stars Network has like $5 a month. It's just ridiculous, a lot of these deals. Oh, Becca, I should tell you that CBS All Access, if you type in a certain code, I can look it up. You can get the episodes of Picard, the new Star Trek one that's coming out, or that came out. You can get that free until like April. I'm just saying. We'll get started here in just a second. Which book is that? Oh, okay. Yeah, let's check in. Who's here right now? Who do we got checking in? Oh, awesome. Okay. Oh, so random thing. Yesterday I went to Walmart to get network cables because I'm constantly trying to find the ideal setup. And you know those Funko Pops? They had Hulk Hogan ones for 25 cents a piece. Randomness, right? And so I ended up buying some, and I may sell them on OfferUp and send the proceeds to youth group. It was $2 for like 8 of them. So it's the small thing. I know, right? And it even said 25 cents on the tag, and I thought that was weird because Funko Pops are usually like $8.78. And so I bought 8, and then the guy was just like staring at me, the Walmart guy, when I had him check the price. And I'm like, dude, is there a quantity limit? And he's like, no. I'm like, not my fault. Oh, by the way, I'm looking for shelving back here. So if anybody knows of any shelving that I could use, have, whatever. I don't want to spend a ton of money on shelving. I might even just go get a piece of wood and mount it there. What? All right, let's get started. Okay, if I find a golden Stanley, I will definitely let you know. Okay. All right, let's get started. So, I know that I was doing the daily. I know that I was doing the daily devotional stuff, but here's what I want to encourage you to do on Facebook. On the church's Facebook, we have a daily devotional that staff and people from our church are going to be doing constantly. And so I want you to take advantage of that. Also, I'm going to send out some resources that I want you to do. But what I want to do is I realized this channel and interaction is just kind of a chance for us to hang out. The Q&A session went really well. And so today, so instead of just putting the live stream in the date, I think it was something that even Abigail said, where it was like either Abigail or Priska, because there's sweet tea, that if the videos are entertaining, it will they can go viral and stuff like that. And I just want to create a place where we can interact, and it was fun. So I've tentatively I've titled this one today that it is the countdown to shelter in place. For those of you that may not have heard, and given the fact that there are no other options other than to monitor the media, I'm not sure how we wouldn't have heard, but it turns out that, hold on one second. It's always Priska unless otherwise stated. See, but like, okay, cool, that's good to know. But I know that usually if I went off of what happens in youth group, usually it's Abigail. And so, and I'm not saying that in a bad way, so please don't. I just know that Abigail seems like the more talkative one in the group setting. So, so we are, they're counting down to, some people are calling it a lockdown. Some people are calling it shelter in place. I want to call it War Games, the match beyond. But yeah, so it looks like that. Now, I'll be honest. On first glance, when I heard this, at first, okay, so maybe some of you are wondering why I'm checking my phone and my watch. It's well, sort of work related, but let's just say that when I get a little antsy, and it may be all these wrestling belts here, and the embracing of my fanhood, but I'm talking with a couple youth groups where I may want to have some inter-youth group challenges via social media platforms. So I was just kind of waiting to see. My buddy is one of the youth leaders at North Phoenix, and I don't know. I just feel like our group's got to come out and play, but not really because of shelter in place. But I was taking a look at it, and when I first heard about shelter in place, my first thought, initially was freaking out. Not going to lie, because, and I'm going to share with you a little bit about this. So and you guys, some of you guys know this already, but my mom has multiple sclerosis, and about 4 or 5 years ago, I think it was, I'll be honest, the years kind of blend in together. She had it's Priska's birthday. Uh-oh. We'll go have some fun. But I'm not telling you when. I'm celebrating it during this live stream. So, because of what happened, she is in a, hold on a second. I'm trying to work on, I have a tuner here so I can optimize my voice. But she had to go to an assisted living center to get some help, because physically she had a bad fall at her apartment and it took a lot out of her. And so, and obviously with the people there at the assisted living center and my mom getting up in years, I believe she turns 62 this year, I think it is. And they went on lockdown. And so my dad, who has some health issues, has been at his apartment, and he hasn't been able to see my mom in 2 to 3 weeks. And I was talking to my dad last night, and it turns out that this is the longest my parents have gone without seeing each other in the 42 years of marriage. Wow, they've been married 42 years. Wow. And so, I'm just kind of like, it just every time I think of these sanctions and what's going on, I don't know, I just kind of freak out a little bit, and I don't mean to, but when I think about it, from what a lot of people are doing, there's not going to be a huge change right now. And I read the whole executive order for people that know, and just to relieve a couple misconceptions. In different places, they've taken different steps to try to enforce this. Here in Arizona, it's not really going to change a ton, except they just want to make sure that your trips are necessary. And like if you get pulled over and they're wondering why you're, out and about or whatever, which I don't really know how often that's going to happen at this moment. I don't really think that's going to happen a ton. You don't have to provide documentation, and and I've been, I guess when you get to be, if you want a good laugh, read some people's Facebook stuff. If you like a good conspiracy theory, if you like somebody that's just waiting for martial law to happen and just complete anarchy, go to Facebook. You're going to find a good share of those people there. It's going to be awesome. In Russia, they have. I thought that was a made-up graphic where it says in Russia they have lions roaming the streets to keep people inside. Maybe I'm wrong. In Mother Russia. But I had and I had a friend I have a friend who's in. I got to be careful using my tenses because in this time frame, in this time that we're in, you can't really say like I have a friend. He runs a vineyard church in Puerto Rico, and he was talking about how they did a lockdown, and then they had military and people in the streets trying to prevent it from happening. And so people automatically assume that because it's happening there, it's going to happen everywhere. And here's why this not amuses me. The situation does not amuse me, but common sense. There's a place for common sense. And here's why I love working with a group like you guys. Is I think of just looking at you guys, and your approach is kind of the same as our approach of, well, yeah, let's do the right thing, let's do the smart thing, but let's not be dumb about it. And I'm sure that a scripture would be good here to play the youth pastor game. By the way, the youth leader at North Phoenix said that he has. Okay, so North Phoenix is a bigger church. They are an amazing church. I absolutely love them. A lot of times bigger churches get crap. I'm sorry, I'm just going to be random because when I was growing up, I always wanted to have my own radio show. I actually was going to school for broadcast journalism before God decided for me to be a pastor, and now this is kind of like my way to do it. In fact, I may do some live streaming even after this whole thing is done. That's another story for another day. But anyways, so yeah, I'm going to be chasing rabbit trails. If that bothers you, well, nah, yeah, I'm sorry. Love you. But so they're incredibly cool. When I became the regional youth leader, their youth pastor, who used to be the national director of Vineyard Youth USA, it's like the most helpful person. Helped me plan my first conference. Just everything has always been an incredible help and an incredible resource. And they're the thing that give what you call big churches. They give them a good name. And my buddy Bryce is on there, and he's like, our youth leadership team handles the Instagram. I'll bring it up to the team. And so I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I'm going to get my team together. And I think we're going to have some challenges. They did a video on TikTok where they did like a makeshift aerobics video. And I might have to create a youth ministry TikTok. So we'll have to see how this works. And so I digress. Anyways, I don't even know what I was saying. I know I was talking about this whole common sense thing and everything that's going on. And I know that having a Bible verse would probably be amazing and wonderful, but here's just the concept I want to think of. I just really get floored at how sometimes we tend to overthink things. And I'm not saying this is not a political stance on the coronavirus or anything. It's just sometimes I think that, God created us with incredible brains. And I'll be honest, one of the things that I love about working with youth is that I get the chance to hang out with some incredible kids that are incredibly talented and can like challenge me, but also like I am a people watcher, and it's funny because I love to watch the wheels turn. Like there are times where it's either maybe it's my kids doing something or watching youth doing something or people as a whole. And more than watching what is happening, I like to watch what the people are doing in reaction to it. I love how the human mind works. And it's funny because so many times we equate this whole idea of faith, and we equate this whole idea of like, okay, well, if I'm going to exercise this faith, then that means at all point in times I need to shut off my brain. It means that there is no room for logic in the land of faith. And all I figured out that that does is alienate people who like to think and analyze. And all that does is alienate people. And here's the reality of the situation. Like you look at this, and you know what? I'm not a big fan of sheltering in place. I'm not. But here's what I look at. I would rather look back at this whole thing and think that we went too far than think that we didn't do enough. I would. I would rather look back at this. I would rather look back like, and I was talking to one of my friends about this the other day. My friend Obi, I was talking to him about this, and we were talking about the fact that you guys are watching. You guys, this is like the impact that it's having globally, and this is the reality. The impact that it's having globally. By the way, is this stuff boring you guys at all, or are you cool if I'm just doing this endless stream of thought right now? Because I like sharing opinions and talking with you guys. But here's the thing, like the impact that this is having on everything, like sporting events, the world, how we live. This is the only thing that was comparable to this was when 9/11 happened. Now, I'm not comparing 9/11 and coronavirus as far as the impact and what is like as event versus event. What I'm talking about is impact versus impact. Because when 9/11 happened, it changed how we did a lot of things, and it changed things. But here's the thing, even with like coronavirus and stuff, we didn't stop having sporting events. Like we took a break or two. We took a week, like there were breaks, but the president was encouraging us to continue to go back out there. And this is not a political thing. I'm saying all of this to say that this is impacting how we've done things. Like this is going to be something that down the road, you're going to be talking to your friends, your kids, like you're going to be talking to them about. Like this is going to be, you're a part of history right now. And that's insane. And this is the new world. And I mean, when they talk about, the coronavirus pandemic, you're going to be the ones with stories like, oh yeah, I remember when I had to stay in my house and they canceled sporting events and stores shut down, and they were telling you that you weren't supposed to go out. Now then, I'm just going to warn you all, you teens, that as you get older, the stories are going to embellish. So like if you had to talk about right now, when you're older, it's going to turn into, when the first case of coronavirus hit, there were soldiers that were arresting people and throwing them back in their houses and things like that. But you're just a part of history right now. But here's the thing. I would rather us look back on this time and go, man, we overreacted, but thank goodness that we overreacted, because we were able to stop it quicker than it could. And, you're hearing stories like, I have my former pastor at First Baptist Church. He has a friend from China, and saying that the city in China is almost returning back to normal now, as far as businesses and certain things like that. Now, whether that's true or not, I'm not sure, but, has parents that live over there and stuff like that. But, South Korea and places like that are starting to slowly but surely get reestablished. And so, I don't know. I just think that it's okay for logic to play a role in this while still having faith. Am I praying for this thing to go away? Yes. Do I want to see healing? Yes. Do I want to see death in the world? No. But if this is happening, does this mean that, when there are precautions and things that we need to take, that that we looked at it as a weakness, a sign of weakness? No. A sign of weakness in our faith? No, because, the Bible talks about respecting the leadership that's in place, because ultimately it was placed there by God. Whether we like it or not, like we want to support our leadership, and we also want to support the cause. We also want to show that, being a standard bearer in the church also means partnering with our leadership, leading the way in that, and doing those kind of things. And so, this stinks, but here's the deal. Here's what I've noticed, and Becca and I were talking about this. I know that we don't have a ton of people on the live stream, but some people in our youth group are connecting better than it was before. And we're starting to learn these new ways and new ways to connect and things like that. And it's just kind of crazy. And so, I mean, either tonight or tomorrow, I'm going to be talking with one of my youth leaders. Tonight or tomorrow, I'm talking with one of my youth leaders, and we're going to be planning what we're going to be doing and how we're going to go forward. And I don't know, I'm just really, I don't know, I'm not excited about it, but it's going to be what we make of it. And that's why part of the reason as I did the YouTube channel was that was part of a challenge to me, because I talk about a lot of things. I have these great ideas. And here's the thing about great ideas. After a while, when you keep sharing great idea after great idea, and I'm not saying like I have them all the time, but whenever you share stuff like, oh, I want to start a podcast, or, oh, I want to do this, I want to live stream, I want a YouTube channel and all this. And people go, wow, that'd be great. You should totally do it. After a while, people get sick of you talking about it. And they want you to do it. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to live stream on YouTube and we're going to make the best of it. And so instead of just doing devotionals, we're going to have fun. I think a weekly Q&A would be great. I want to see this increase. Like right now, it shows 7 people right there. And now I don't know if that's where it shows on your screen, but on my little thing, I see 7 people, and I'm so super excited about that. And we're going to have some fun with this. We're going to be doing some stuff. I would, like some things that I was thinking about is, my reaction to shows that you guys recommend, and just certain, little things that we have going on. I don't know. We're just going to make it happen. If you have any ideas, let me know. I want this to be a place where we can interact and just kind of have a place to have a break and just do this. Not a place to break, because that would just be weird. So I'll tell you what, let's do this. Let's take a quick stop. Becca, right here. We're not stopping the video. We're not. Let's just take a quick break, like right here. Stop what's going on. Type in the chat who's here. I see 6 people. It was 7 at one point. I know that Amber's here. I'm assuming Dayton's still on. And then it was Priska and Abigail. Who else is here? Type it in the chat. Let's do a check-in to see who's here. Let's do it, gang. Okay, Priska, Dayton, Abigail. Amber, Delia, right? Becca, me. I don't know, like we need to get Riley and Brad in on this. Oh, that would be great. I would love that. And that's the thing is, I want to do kind of a midday goof off thing where we could just have some fun. Because I know Sunday night and Wednesday nights we're going to do that. And just, by the way, an update. So I am trying to partner with, the Heroic Leadership Institute students. So get this, they were in Mexico when the quarantine and everything started. They were on a Mexico mission trip. And they got quarantined. And so one day they were in Mexico. Within a couple of days, they flew back to Minnesota. And then probably within a week after that, they all had to go back to their homes. But they're doing it online. And one thing that I volunteered was to have them help teach. And so every now and then you might see a student come in. You guys got to meet Colby via chat. But occasionally, as the opportunity presents itself, we're going to do that. So I'm excited for that. And so we're going to make that happen. I'm not sure what we should do, because my friend Bryce from North Phoenix Vineyard said that he's down, and he's like, tell me what you're thinking and I'll bring it up to the team. I don't know that I want to brainstorm as much as issue the challenge. So we'll see. But Okay, so let's see. Abigail, you said we could do interviews with the youth when we see each other again. What do you mean youth? What do you mean interview? What do you mean youth? Define youth, because as the youth pastor, I'm still confused. Um, what do you mean we could do interviews with youth? Are you talking about like on the Facebook channel? I'm not Facebook, YouTube. Oh, it's really awkward probably when I put that stuff up there and then, so, or when I ask that question and then just leave it silent waiting for the text response. So if you could type in the answer in the chat and I'll keep going. So yeah, so now the thing is just trying to figure out what this whole thing looks like. And so I went to Walmart this morning. Oh, okay. Like we did with Ask Mike Anything, but for everyone in the Zoom chat, it's kind of like a meet each other again icebreaker. So you're thinking like on Wednesday nights, we'll pick a youth and we'll interview that youth that day? Or are you thinking like youth will interview each other? Because we can make it happen either way. I can do anything in Zoom. But no, so it was weird. So when we heard that this was going to happen, I told Becca that we should probably, like, I recommended to Becca that we go to the store so we could pick up a couple items. And I get up early to go to food pantry anyway. So I went to Walmart, not hoarding, not getting crazy, but just making sure that we had what we knew we were going to need, like certain items. And it was just like the very beginning, like when I went, well, I mean, probably not as crazy because people weren't like messing with each other or whatever, but they were definitely, okay, we can do that. And I actually have I have a program that can do randomizing in front of everybody. It'll be amazing and give me a chance to use it. But and it was just weird because um like I was walking by people in my cart and I noticed that I didn't get there early enough, so I missed out on getting some extra toilet paper. But the people that had toilet paper in their carts, as I'm looking around trying to maneuver through, people started like covering up their stuff or like freaking out, and it was just really weird. And so, um, above anything else, also I wanted to have times where we can get together, not get together, but get together digitally, and just talk about how in this time, let's brainstorm and figure out how we can be there for people, how we can take care of people, how we can do this, because this is the chance for the church to show up in tangible ways right now. And so I don't know, but I like this idea that we'll pick each person a night randomly and have them ask them a question. Okay, so I'm going to open it up to you guys as far as what would you like to see on this YouTube channel right here? So like, for example, if we did this and you wanted to tune in, what would be a reason you would want to tune in? Because I'll be honest, the videos that I may want to watch or the things that I may want to do may be different than what you guys want to do. So what are some things that you said, okay, Mike, if I get to run, if I were given the chance to run it, which I'm not saying you are, so don't get that idea. I'm still El Capitano. What would you pick? What would you want to see? I am going to use that randomly. In fact, I will do that tomorrow. Tomorrow I will do that. I should do a podcast. Okay, so listen, let's throw this out there because I used to do one and I would just have these random topics. So this is, what would you want to hear on a podcast? So if I did a podcast and you guys subscribe to it, what would you want to hear on the podcast? Like what would be something that you would be appointment listening? Share opinions, karaoke challenges. Okay, so you want me to be a trained monkey for you. I get it. Okay, fine. Everybody else with the trained monkey theory? Okay, yeah, that's right. I don't know where that came from. I just felt the need to cause some drama. You want to see Baby Yoda, don't we all? He's not Baby Yoda. He's the child, right? The child. By the way, Delia told me that when I'm talking in the microphone, it looks like I'm trying to eat it. So I'm working on mic positioning, so it doesn't always look like that. My opinions on movies, life, interesting. Okay. Anybody else besides Priska and Abigail? I love your opinion. I just want to see, I want Dayton to get in on this action. Amber and Ricardo, and people I just made up right now. Dayton, you should get your you should get Mia and Mackenzie in on this action. Make this happen. I know you're trying, and I respect that. I appreciate that. I'm glad that you join us every day. I really am. I've known Dayton for quite some time. So we're going to make that happen. By the way, on the subscription challenge, we went from 21 subscribers to 25. I was feeling rather cocky, so I posted the link and said, not that it matters, and I think I'm going to be safe. So depending on how this looks, I don't know. Like I might just be, I might be TikTok free. But we are up to 25 subscribers, so I think that's cool. I might need no to what? Oh, is this the thing where you, no? No. What, that I'm TikTok free? Ah. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, the subscriber number says otherwise. Oh, here we go. It's Dayton's Parade of No's. For those of you that have joined us in our Zoom youth group, this is Dayton's Parade of No's. And here we go. TikTok is inevitable. Okay, social media Thanos. I am inevitable. Oh, here we go. Dayton's Parade of No's. I like this. All right. So, let's see, 231. One thing that I would challenge you to do, and yeah, let's not do spam in the chat. Let's keep that. Let us maintain the integrity of the chat. Guys, let's stop, please. So one thing that I would tell you that I'm challenged to do is, so at 3 o'clock today, I'm going to be reconnecting with a friend of mine from New Hampshire, and we're going to get the chance to connect. Here's what I would encourage you guys to do. I know that we feel isolated from our friends, and I know that sometimes it's tough, and I know that sometimes, whether it be Dayton, please stop. I know that digitally we might be limited. We may not have a phone, or we may not have this stuff going on. Hold on one second. So, I may have lost. I didn't mean to do that, but one thing that I would encourage you to do is try to reach out to people that you keep meaning to have people from different groups be involved. Okay, so give me more on that. Like HLI or PT people. Okay, so you mean like have other leaders come on and do this live stream and stuff like that? Is that what you're thinking? Oh, okay, like being on with me, like maybe I'm interviewing them or we're having a discussion together. Okay, I get that. All right. So, yeah, definitely. But I would encourage you guys to reach out to people. I haven't talked to this friend in months, and it's just kind of reconnecting, going over some ideas and trying to figure out what's going on. It would be nice to keep that communication open. Okay, I like that. So yeah, definitely that is something that we can do. I want to encourage you to reach out, and yeah, so that's it. Okay, that's good to know. And so I'll talk to some friends, and the hard thing is figuring out how to do like this with somebody on a live stream. It can be done. I know it can be done. I've seen people do it. It's just getting everything to work. And I always freak out once I have something and I'm like, oh, okay, let me change up the configuration. Quite possibly. All right. So, yeah, so stay tuned. But I think the one takeaway that we can have from all of this, I think the one takeaway that we have is we need to get Derek back on. Yes. Yeah, excellent. The one thing that I think that we're going to take away from this is I don't have to worry about doing a TikTok because I don't think we'll reach. I don't know if we'll reach 50 subscribers by the end of the week. But we'll have to see how that works out. I'm going to reach out to Derek and see if he wants to do that. I know that I talked to him a little bit, and things are still going okay at his work, but I don't know how this lockdown is going to affect things. So we're going to have this as our way to reach out. We are still going to have our online youth group. That's going to have a little more structure to it, as far as having the teachings, breakout sessions, definitely things like that. So we are going to make it happen. So guys, I'm just praying that you have an incredible, incredible week. I'm hoping that you have a wonderful time. That you make the best of it. I know it's not ideal, but you get to choose what becomes of it. And I would encourage you to take advantage of this time, learn new skills, reach out to people that you don't normally get the chance to reach out to, cross some things off the to-do list that you've been meaning to do. Take advantage of this time, and we'll make it happen. And I'll tell you what, I'll see what I can do about get my podcast up and running and making that happen. So yeah, I love you guys. I miss you guys, and it just not being with you guys makes me realize even more how I have the coolest job in the world. I'm going to be doing some more wrestling decorating. I appreciate the lack of judgment, or at least the silent judgment, when it comes to my love of wrestling, or not so silent judgment. Deal with it. And actually, Abigail Priska, I think that I think one side's going to be wrestling and one side's going to be Packers, and I'm going to put the flag up. I am going to put the flag up. We're going to figure out a way to make that happen because something tells me this is going to be my place for a while. Amber, enjoy your cake. Have your cake and eat it too. Had to do it. Had to do it. I love you guys. I hope you have an incredible time. Tell your friends about this. There's even a way that you can share this if you want to. I'll try to schedule it and send the link out so you can share it with your friends. You can text your friends. You can have your parents do it. Get your parents enlisted to do this and help it out as well. And we will make it happen. As far as what goes on tomorrow, I'll give you a little preview of what we're going to be talking about Wednesday, and we will be on day 1 of Shelter in Place. So I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. If you need anything, feel free to reach out. Here's what I'll do. There is my number. If you need anything, feel free to reach out to me. And I will talk to you guys later. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.